Are you not ready for
marriage?
When will you marry? Is it this year or next year? Will you be single forever? Jesus.
Forever. Forever. That's what she said. Forever. She
forever.
Said.
Marry. Is it this year or next year? Will you be single forever? Jesus.
Forever. Forever. That's what she said.
Will it be this year or next year? Will you be single forever? Jesus. When will you marry?
31. 31.
I've got loads to say.
I ain't getting married for shit. Put a ring on it.
I love marriage.
Why?
The reason why I love marriage is because of several reasons. One of them just being because I love love. But I think I love love in...
You sound like a Disney
I love love. I'm a hopeless romantic. Like I love the fairy tale. I love the white dress and the groom waiting at the top of the aisle and maybe shedding a tear and bending down.
My mum better cry. Hey, my mum better cry.
Oh, you don't care about marriage, but you want your mum to cry.
No, my man, he needs to cry. You see when
your man?
No, my man.
If my man, it's alright.
Yeah, my man.
If my man does not cry at my wedding day, it's not my man.
I have to go back.
Not my man.
He must cry.
He has to cry. There's no way.
I plan to get married. Love is good, fam. With a good woman, you're always gonna strive.
100%, man.
So what do you want to do? What's the plan? I heard you got a woman.
Yeah, man, I got a baby. Shout out, baby.
Is that what you're gonna say? That's perhaps she's more loved than that.
Who? That I'm loved up? Yeah, I'm loved up. Any of you girls that want to DM me, fuck off. Because she'll punch you up. And I don't want smokes. I don't want smokes on your behalf as well. But no, just...
Marriage on the cards?
On the clouds?
On the cards.
On the cards,
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Ladies first and that.
I think marriage is, I agree with like what Chris said, like marriage is a covenant with God. Like you're basically honouring God and you're bringing God into your relationship. I'm a Christian, so that's, do you know what I mean? That's what I believe in that respect. I think, I want to get married personally, but I think, I don't think marriage is for everyone, one. I think some people are not built for marriage. It even says it in the Bible. Not everyone is supposed to get married.
But marriage, what does marriage mean to me? That was a question. It means...
everything.
Yeah, I think it's because of my religion as well, though. So in terms of, your marriage being, representing, like, being the symbol of, like, the church and all of that, and, like, you go as one and then you fulfill your purpose together. I think that's probably my original understanding of marriage. But as I grew up, I actually realised it's actually someone that you just do life with, on a permanent basis. And I think that our society is almost instilled in us that marriage is this kind of, like, dungeon thing where as soon as you go in, your whole life stops, or especially from the men's
That's why you don't have
perspective.
kids. I feel like with marriage, don't have kids as soon as you get married. Me personally, I wouldn't have kids.
Yeah, enjoy your marriage.
2 years before we have
100%,
kids.
because I'm somebody that, for instance, I'm very traditional, so I'm not leaving my father's house until there's something there.
Actually, no, I'm leaving my house.
No, I'm not, because we know in the society it's just too expensive for me to buy a house alone, and I'm buying it with my man, and I need that first. So for me, like, sometimes it's actually it's just doing life with someone and enjoying it and still being able to grow as a person. You don't have to be a complete person when you get married. You don't have to be at the top of your career, have X amount of money. You just need to be in love.
Besides from the religious attachment towards it, I would say the main reason for marriage is just because it's sort of like, you need to win it. It's part of the.
You need to.
Yeah.
Is that it feels right at the time. Do you know what I mean? It feels right. This is who I want to be. It's want to claim as my person.
Life, yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think you need to.
What would you say? What is the actual, the attachments of marriage? Obviously, besides from you being soul tied with the person and committing to them to the rest of your life. What else is there?
Communication, trust, honesty. I don't know.
from you saying that you want to marry someone, it's just like, okay, what else is it you're actually saying? Besides from, I want to be with you for the rest of my life. What's the purpose? Because I see it as it's mainly just the religious aspect of it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Nothing else?
Predominantly. I think that's the main factor. Because it's sort of like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's sort of like a promise. It's sort of like a covenant between you two and God.
100,
That's what I see it as.
I agree with that. I'll give you that.
I think a million percent that is that. Yeah, I feel like it's a covenant between you two and God, saying that, you know, you're actually making God the center of your relationship, and that you want him to be the counselor.
Yeah.
And basically to kind of go, but that's again from a Christian background. If else is from someone that's, you know, an atheist or from another religion, there may be another reason or purpose behind it. But yeah, I agree with marriage. I only accepted it like about a few years ago, you know.
Why you accepted for a few years ago?
Because I've never seen a positive representation of marriage or relationships.
Not even close to you, not even like...
No.
Yeah, so I do plan on getting married, but like I feel like people are rushing to get married. Like our parents used to rush, like, you know, and they were married by 21, 22.
But then don't you also think on the flip side of it, also in this generation, we overdate? If we are talking about
I hear that.
Like that's
We
what one of my
might
preachers
overdate.
told me. He was like, people do overdate these days to
Yeah.
the point where you don't learn nothing new after you're married. So
I hear that. I agree with that. But I think that's something we've maybe... I think Patricia said something, yeah? And I hear what she's saying, but at the same time, I think that our generation are going to make our own mistakes, innit? That's probably one of our mistakes that we're making, that we overdate. Our parents, they just rushed into marriage. So I think each generation...
a lot of the older generations, marriages lasted, but maybe that's because of the impact of divorce and stuff like that.
I hear that,
but the divorce rates are definitely higher now.
They lasted, but was it a happy marriage? That's a completely different thing.
I'm not as strong as... My points about marriage aren't as strong as yours, because currently I feel like I'm still trying to be happy being alone. You know how on Twitter, yeah, you've got these people that are always telling
so
you
important.
how you to live, yeah? I currently know that if I had a man now, I'll be using that man to complete me, and that is so wrong. You shouldn't seek a relationship to complete you, and that's where I am now. So maybe
like that.
after I feel completed
That's very
with
good.
myself,
That's very
maybe
good.
my views will be like more like yours. Right now, marriage.
That's very good. That's
But I
very,
want
very good.
husband.
No.
I want husband. I want him.
Can't breathe.
I do. I'm not gonna lie. I really do.
No, do you know what? I love, but I completely agree. You have to be in the
Yeah.
best place mentally and emotionally to be ready to share your life with someone. Like, as much as I said that it is just someone that you do life with and there's someone that you commit to on a permanent basis, it's also someone that you have to learn to compromise for and commit to
And half these
wholeheartedly.
guys, I'm like looking at, yeah, they're really not on my level. And not.
She means it. That's it.
Let me rephrase it before people start attacking me.
That's
Yeah,
it.
when I say not my
No,
level, like
that's it.
look, you need to have a good credit score. You need to have a good job.
If you know her job, you'll understand.
Like, yeah, there's little things that really, and they need to be very family orientated. And so I hate when many of them are like, oh, but isn't that very general? Like, no, it's general to
not.
you men, because it's easy for you to find that in women. I think it's harder for us as women to find it in men. So
100%
I'm
family
still looking for
oriented.
someone on my. I'm not saying you guys don't exist. I'm just saying we haven't come across
You need
each
an older
other.
man.
I do. Hey man,
You need an older
when
man.
will you marry?
Just shut up.
Hopefully it's next year. But
Okay,
yeah.
so no, I agree. You'll come with a load of another question, but yeah, that thing, what you just said about learning to be happy
Yeah, by
alone
myself,
is
yeah.
so important. And as much as I love marriage and I love the idea of love and I love, all of that, I also love the idea of loving myself as well and growing more in love with myself as
Don't get
time
twisted.
goes by.
I love myself in it. Don't get twisted. I do. I'm just saying I need to get to that next point
Yeah.
where I'm
There's
in
different
love with myself
stages.
and happy being by myself.
Yeah.
And a man will compliment me and not complete me.
100.
That was live.
Come here.
Wait. Gang. That was live.
That's it, mate.
That was live.
Right, next question.
Parents?
Yeah.
None.
No, and I feel like majority of our parents that they married just to cover up and make themselves look good in the eyes of others.
100.
This thing happens a lot in African families, is that what they do is they sweep all the bullshit under the rug and under the carpet
100.
to make themselves look better in the eyes of everyone else. I feel like a lot of African parents were fornicating, and you people were fornicating from early, and what happened is that you got married and you compromised too much.
I agree with that.
I feel like they compromised so much they didn't actually ask or value or assess the situation they was in, saying, am I ready to be committed to this person to the rest of my life? Am I ready to actually say that this is my partner? And even the representations of love, I feel like as if they were all just, I feel like a majority of them
Or fake.
were fake.
You think so?
Or forced. Or was it was temporary. And then when shit really hit the fan, nothing.
Nothing. My mum.
Wait,
was
hold
single.
on. Wait, hold on.
Oh, you're wasting good sweet.
Are you
What's
mad?
wrong with you?
Hold on, wait.
What's
Hold on.
good, Harry Boo?
Hold on, wait. I'm so sorry that I threw this, but that was like my
Actually threw this
instinct. That was like my instinctive reaction. But wait, hold on, wait. I meant to have learned something from my parents about marriage. You're taking a fucking piss.
My friend's grandfather in Miami told me, he said to me, listen, you will fall out of love. Simple as that. If you're going to do this for life, there's going to be times that you're not in love with a person. This in love thing isn't forever. No. So it then comes down to other traits, respect, loyalty, and all these other things that will take over from love at some points when you're in turbulent times. Yeah. So yeah, I think just, you know, ride it out. If you're really committed, then commit. Don't pussyfoot around it, really. You know, don't say you're really in it and you're not. I think this generation, I don't know if I can't speak for other people. I've got friends that are in great relationships, so I can't really, you know, knock it, but I don't know. I think, people are too fast to dismiss in this day and age. It's too quick to find a replacement or something else to switch off on. And I think that's where
our attention spans are too short.
But then if you're trying to build a foundation, then you need to obviously make sure, you know, it's like a business partner. You know for a fact you're going to clash. You know for a fact you're going to probably think, fuck this guy at certain times. But the show must go on. And, you know, if you're bringing children into that environment and all these different things, then I mean, I would love my son to see me married. But at the same time, on the flip side of that, I don't know if I want my son to see me married to someone else. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because then it's like, I don't know what that could have on him. So really my focus is not marriage and just trying to be a father.
Bro, when I go to some of my friends' houses and I see their parents and they're actually all loved up together, it
baffles you.
It baffles me.
Yeah, it baffles you.
Because even the ideology of love, and this is for me speaking as a 26-year-old male, like, I just feel like, what is the ideology of love? What is the ideology of marriage? I've never seen that, bro. I don't know what the representations of it are. Everything that I've seen of love and marriage and these things comes from
TV.
Media.
True.
Or from my own assumptions of
what
I'm
love
assuming
is.
this is what it is and blah, blah. I don't know what it is, fam. That's why before I was like, I don't want to get married because I don't want to be committing myself into something or working towards something. I don't even know what it is.
Do you think you're in love now? It's a bit tight still.
I think I'm working towards love.
That's good.
I feel like you can only give love to someone when you have love within yourself.
100%. Tupac said that.
Is it?
Tupac said the exact same thing. Tupac said the exact same
That's
thing.
deep, you know.
Tupac said,
Man like Chris Shakur.
you know, like that. He said exactly.
But yeah,
exact same
I definitely
thing.
do feel like as if, like, with marriage and love as a whole, I don't want to know the ideology. I want to know I want to feel it. I don't want to just assume what it is. Or
So you don't care about the understanding. You just want to feel it. Just know that this is.
I care about
within.
the understanding of it, but I don't care about their understanding. I care about my own personal understanding, what my partner's understanding of it is.
Her own personal experience led her to that analogy.
They're very, very stubborn and very hard work. I can't do it.
What did I learn from the Nigerian culture in regards to marriage is that the Nigerian culture of marriage or the Nigerian definition of marriage is flawed. That's what I learned. I think that their whole basis is stupid. If I'm completely honest with you.
I feel like marriage is very, in our culture, I can always speak of marriage. I can't necessarily say, I probably shouldn't have eaten all those sweets. I look like a chipmunk. I won't say that I haven't learned much from my mum as a married woman because she got married when I was basically an adult out of the house, so I haven't really seen that relationship. But what I will say about marriage, especially in our culture, I actually find it quite marriage and parenting. Actually, I find it quite very, very rigid. Like in the Nigerian marriage, they often, my friends tell me that they don't hug, they don't kiss. Some of them don't sleep in the same bed, and if they do all those things, they don't do it in front of their kids. So I don't necessarily see what their kids can learn from them.
It's very private. Like even the topic of sex, topic of love, topic of just mental health. There's just so many different
Mental
things.
health doesn't
yeah,
exist.
let's not bring it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a whole different. But just in general, there are a
Doesn't
lot of
exist for
things that
Nigerians.
maybe just them growing up, they were sheltered from, so they automatically shelter us from that, which I can't blame them for, because you can only go off how you were raised. But how me growing up in this country, no way.
It's very patriarchal as well. Like I'm not down for
The man needs to be the head though. He
I
can tell me
agree with
he can tell me what to do.
I agree. To a certain degree.
My man can tell me what to do.
To a
That's
certain
it.
degree.
I said it. My man can tell me what to do.
If
So
you
I don't
look
mind that.
If you look at
I don't
traditional
mind it.
Nigerian marriage, though, if you look at traditional Nigerian marriage, he can literally do anything he wants.
No.
And that's what I would.
I mean, in my parents' defense, I mean, I know I was a bit bashy to the Nigerian culture, you know. My parents are still together, and my mom, I think, is a very good example, or a very powerful example of a very strong woman. And I think that as much as there are some things I don't agree with in regards to Nigerian culture, I'm very blessed to have a mom like her who's a very good representative of how I would like to be as a wife.
Really?
I my parents gave a trash example of relationships in general, but I was lucky enough to like see and be a part of like my aunt and uncle's relationship, and they actually sat me down. They sat me down when I was with my ex, and they were just basically saying to me that exactly what your friend's granddad was saying, like literally, you will fall out of love. And you need to have a basis of friendship. Like every relationship, any successful relationship, like would have a basis of friendship. You need to literally think 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line, do I like this person? Like, are they my friend? Like, when you're not in love with this person anymore, yeah? Like, and the kids have left the
But
nest.
then I think what happens as well, people sometimes then overthink things. And they're thinking, as you're saying, 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, when the person's right in front of your face, right here, right now.
I hear that, but
and then they overthink all these theoretical problems, and that's when they come to us with stress. No, like, or vice versa. It's not just women to men. But,
I hear what you're saying, but like, okay, for instance, yeah, women, we're notorious for putting our kids above our man. Do you know what I mean? And
Do you think
you
that's
lot
wrong?
might come for me.
Do you think that's wrong?
I think it's wrong, yeah. Don't get me wrong. When I say your man, I mean your husband, innit? Your husband. Your kids will leave you one day, and you need to deep that. Your kids will leave you and make their own families. It's left you and your husband, or you and your wife. What are you gonna do? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I
people
agree- I
don't
agree
think
to an
that
extent
far
with that.
ahead. People think about, like, it's me and my man, and then we're gonna have a family, we're gonna have some babies. Those babies will grow up, those babies will give you attitude, those babies will leave you, and then it's you and your man. What are you gonna do? You're gonna be staring at each other like, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
you would have put in so many years before that point
yeah,
of them
of course,
leaving and
of
flying
course.
in
I also
That's
agree.
why you have multiple children, because then that 18 years
I
keeps
hear
extending.
that, but it's sometimes you want, like sometimes you gotta deep that day will come. Your partner, it will be you and your partner, and that's it. You'll not be able to fall back on your kids, because your kids, you need to let your kids live and start their own lives and their own families.
Of course.
You know, so yeah, I just feel like with marriage as a whole, bro, like it's all just.
I think it's a fraud.
I don't think it's a fraud, no. I just feel like it's just a thing where I don't think people have thought too deep about it. I don't think people have thought too deep about it at all.
Why is that? I think women haven't thought deep about it. I think as men, we always think about it.
People
Deeply.
I feel like with marriage, people think about the day, the ceremony.
That's it. But
They're not thinking about 10 years down the line when your partner's pissed on the seat by accident and whatnot and refuses to wipe it. They're not thinking about that. They're not thinking about when you wake up to the person and then they may have looked less attractive as they were 10 years ago.
100.
Or they're more, they're comfortable. One thing I asked one of my bedrooms once, he's been with his girlfriend for about 6-7 years. I said to him, bro, how do you stay in love?
What do you
And he
say?
couldn't even answer that question to me.
Swear.
He couldn't answer that question to me.
I think before you fall in love, you should be friends at first, so you understand the person
Friendship is
in and out.
essential. It's a
It's
foundation.
essential. It's more than a
Because
foundation.
it's one of those things, you know, you've got that one friend, yeah?
Yeah.
And one of your dogs.
Yeah.
And you look at him sometimes, he may do something that pisses you off.
Yeah.
But you think, I can't bang you up because
My bro. My bro, I agree with that.
That's exactly how it needs to be like
That's
with your
why it
partner.
needs to be
Where
that.
you look at her and think that even she may have, I don't know, just not looking as buff as she used to. And you just say, no, you're still my bedroom though. So this is why I'm with you.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like, I think it's an ideology, man. A lot of people just think about the day
Because I don't want you to come and say that I'm now slating my mum, because that's the big
No,
G.
but it's
That's
what
the
we've
big G.
observed, of course.
My mum's
I love
a
our
G,
mummies.
but in terms of teaching me, she taught me about relationships.
My man can still tell me what I want. What he
That's
wants,
cool.
though. I'm just
my
saying.
man can too as well, but to a certain degree. And I'm not gonna say my
To
mum
a
has
certain
problem.
degree, of course, and that's
Yeah.
me respect. Don't beat me up, for
That's it.
instance.
No, you're
Like, don't mentally abuse
because
me.
I will sing to the police.
Oh, for goodness sake.
I will sing to the police.
It's trash.
I think it would be great. I think it would be bad. I think there would be many things that will happen in it. Everyone's different marriage. So,
We're overexposed,
but I think
man.
with you're overexposed, social media, all these things, they can't be a great thing for the marriage. But again, if you've got a solid foundation,
I hear that.
You're calm.
But we're overexposed and social media has taken over our lives and we want to share everything. Like every bloody thing. Like I'm so tired of it. Every week, one couple's breaking up. So I just want to say we broke up because of this. We're still best friends. You know, I don't give a shit, bruv. Like, ugh, I don't care. Like everyone's breaking up. I'm tired of it. And all it's gonna be is that we're gonna the next generation. They're just gonna learn from us, and they're more overexposed than we are. They're bloody.
it's
Oh
gonna
my
be.
god.
It's true. I don't know.
Do you think us as men, we have to compromise more? No, realistically, all jokes aside. No, be honest. Do you think we compromise more?
Oh yeah, of course.
Because we don't ask for much, you know. You know we don't ask for much.
Men don't know.
We don't ask for nothing, fam. We just ask this is a good time.
Do you know what it is? You
And
know
they come headache.
We don't ask for much, but as men, I can't lie, we don't know what we want. Sometimes we don't know what we want.
Why do you think that is? I don't think we're good at communication because
Yeah, 'cause
we're not never allowed to express ourselves or we look a certain
we're
way.
scared of the backlash.
Yeah, we look a certain way. We don't look gangster enough to them. Why are you crying for? Why are you crying? You told me to cry.
When the girl turns around and says that a fact of you opening up,
Yeah.
you're doing the most.
Yeah.
You're doing too
Oh
much. All you need to do is talk,
Why
and then you talk, and then there's an issue. There's a problem. You know, as men, sometimes we don't talk because we don't want smoke.
We don't want
problems.
smoke.
We don't want problems.
Tell
That's
them.
it. We don't want problems. Honest truth. We don't want problems. That's the only reason why we keep quiet and we compromise.
That's why communication is important. She used to understand that sometimes you are emotional.
Yeah.
You want to get in that emotional bag.
100%.
But they don't allow you to get that emotional bag. They say, why are you crying for?
Yeah.
Fix up. This is not the man I wanted.
Yeah,
You're
man
like, raw. You're rattled.
Man up.
You're rattled. You're like, what do I do now? Where do I go? Can't talk to you. I can't talk to my boys. Fam, I'm telling you this now.
100%.
The
Compromise.
hardest road man will never
As men,
communicate well.
compromise a lot.
100%.
Even if you're gonna go trash, even if you do nonsense, somehow we compromise. Somehow it's compromising. Somehow.
Nah. Some girls say men are mad, but realistically, see, you don't have a platform to even speak without them commenting on us. You don't have a platform to even speak. Look at
I'm pretty sure they're gonna be in the comments.
what? We're mad. We're crazy. Look at them. They
How
don't.
can you say
Black
that?
men. Black men. They don't know that.
Misogynistic. How can you say that?
Fam,
Everyone's mad in the head, men and women. Everyone's sick.
for real.
Everyone is sick in the head. But yeah, man, there's a lot of compromising that we have to do.
100. And I feel
Shout out
like
the dogs then.
as men, we should be allowed to get emotional sometimes.
Yeah.
Without us feel like, oh, you feel less like a man. That's my opinion though.
100%.
Some girls will disagree and say, yeah, I'd let my man get emotional with me. It's a lie.
The marriages that some of them that I'm gonna say this one thing. You see those church marriages that you people are doing. You go to church for 1 year, and after 6 months, you're just you're married like this. I'm seeing Instagram. Everyone's doing the shaku and the gara on some. You've been at church for literally 6 months. You see those weddings, you guys won't last.
But that's okay.
You will not.
No.
You won't last.
What God has put together, no one will take it. No.
Let me tell you what that's wrong.
No.
Because I've actually seen them. 6 months ago, you guys were doing the big, you know when they do their synchronized azonto, and all that bullshit. Yeah, you'd be doing that, Then 6 months later, it just wasn't working out.
Do you know what?
You'd be doing a press conference on Instagram. Look, you guys.
Oh
need to
my
take your
God.
time.
It's trash. Everyone's going to be doing. You know what it is? Our generation, I would say, we're more business orientated and money orientated, innit? So we've figured out ways to monetize everything, and that's the problem. Because we want to monetize on everything. We want to monetize business. We want to monetize our relationships. We want to monetize our families, our kids. It's disgusting. It's trash.
But not everyone's like that though, man. I think it's certain. Obviously, those people take the spotlight because they're the ones sharing it. It's the ones who move in silence are probably the ones better off. But nah, man, I'm a glass half full guy. So I think
Can't lie,
I think this generation's gonna be fine, really.
if I have a man, you won't know if I have a man. If I don't have a man, did you ever know when I had a man on social media? You knew personally, but you didn't know on social. Because I'm not stupid. Thank you. Sorry, I just don't get it. And then you ask me question, where's your boyfriend? When I delete all the pictures. No, I'm alright. It's alright. Future marriage is kaput, sorry.
Negative.
There's got to be some that are in the minority. There's got to be some perfect marriages where they perfect and, you know, get it right of what the wrongs of their parents.
100%.
But the majority, it's looking bleak, fam.
It's looking hella bleak.
It's looking bad. It's looking like people are going to get married just to end up monetizing off of YouTube. It looks like people are going to end up being on flipping, having marriage ceremonies because raves are dead.
I'm dead! I'm actually so dead!
It's shifted. The crowd is shifted. They're no longer, yeah. Raves, I mean, wedding ceremonies, wedding receptions are the new raves.
Oh my, can you imagine?
Man will slap on a Snapchat filter in there and say it was lit.
Oh my god, I'm dead.
They'll slap on
I'm
and say it
actually
was lit.
dead.
A man will feel no way. And you know the reason why they feel no way about the wedding reception or going to there?
Why not?
Because two things. One, it's free. It's free.
We like free stuff, I ain't lied to
It's
you.
free. I love it.
I love it.
But it's free. That's the first thing. The same money you're going to put into to end up going in towards like getting yourself dressed up for the rave, it's the same money you can put into a wedding. But guess what? There's free alcohol all night. There's food. There's more likely going to be a ride home.
There's bridesmaids.
There's bridesmaids.
That are not married yet, so you can find one.
Optimistic as well and think you'll find husband or find wife.
100%.
That's what it is.
100%.
You guys,
Oh my god! Listen, get back here, mate. Listen, one thing that do you know what? I think the future of marriage as well, is gonna also be the fact that I think people are gonna learn to stop putting it on the internet. I think that people are gonna learn.
Worse.
You think?
I think
people,
everything wants to go on the internet now.
No, do you know what? I'm not saying that it's a bad thing because a good example is maybe Cassandra and Carl, right?
Okay.
The locos. I love their representation of marriage and the way they're quite real on camera. But what I mean is maybe before it gets to that stage, before it gets to that strength, they've had to go through so many things before they got there. And I think that in the rush or in the midst of people trying to get to where they are, they're just trying to showcase their life as if they're there already and they're not. So I think that maybe in the future, we're going to be a bit more mindful of what we air out.
I disagree. I think we're getting
the
stupider
world.
and stupider.
Really?
Yeah, I think nowadays, you can be like,
oh no,
Billy Bob Jones didn't do the dishes today. Let me make a YouTube channel and YouTube thing.
no.
Like, I think now we put too much on the internet, and I don't think.
I hope not.
And I feel like in the future, if you look at it now, I think that evidence of how bad it's getting is like the advancements of things like Instagram. Now you can do, before you could never do a story, now you can do stories. Before you can never put up you can have one picture and that was it, but now you can put one picture, two picture, three pictures up in one
advancements.
So I feel like the advancements of like social media are a reflection of how much we're using it and how much we're putting on it.
I understand that, but I still think when it comes to marriage with our kids, because remember our generation are actually going to have kids that are like 15, 16 and stuff. What are we going to be putting on social media then in regards to our marriage, in regards to our family? I think there's going to be a lot of lessons learnt, mate. A lot of lessons learnt that people making mistakes of right now.
Keep some of your things private, man. Keep some of your things private.
Me, anyway, personally, there'll be prayers against me. So I don't need to put my man on the net. I don't need to put my child on the net. I don't need to put my child's graduation on the net.
My
child's dedication on the net. No, don't cry no me.
She said it. Really. I don't know what to say. I'm literally, I don't know. Marriage, innit? I'm not Dr. Phil, but, I might change to be a divorce lawyer if this generation's really going bad, innit?
It's mad, because I actually am a romantic, but like the way we're going, the trajectory we're on, it's not looking good. Like people it's what them lot were saying is so true. Like everyone's just fussed about the day. No one's thinking further than that. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's thinking about, Snapchat filter, got to put an IG. I don't even understand how you're at your own wedding and you're snapping. Are you alright, B?
I can understand it, man. When the Henny's in the system, there ain't no telling.
Aren't you too busy on your own wedding?
It's looking mad right now, and that is the future of the wedding culture.
It's going to be crazy.
It's looking mad.
It's going to be crazy.
Man, I'm literally gonna get married and then come together just for YouTube views. That's it.
People are mad. People have gone insane. People have gone
subscribe, guys. So me and my husband, me and my wife are doing this today. We just moved house.
There's one I saw, I think they were married for like a month, and then she came back in the next month and said, "Oh, we're getting divorced, guys." I said, "Boy, life came out fast."
Oh man!
Life came fast.
Oh man!